Stealing.
I'm sorry, stealing, yeah. Freudian slip. Everybody was blowing me up with their own personal anecdotes of how that kind of fell into their lap. I used to work at Giant Eagle, somebody says. When my school loans kicked in, I started stealing food at work because I couldn't afford it.
I went through a
And
heavy
people think there's
stealing
nothing
phase,
wrong with
man.
our education system.
Right.
A cashier at Subway is socializing too much with coworkers, forgets to charge you. You are aware of it, and you take it without paying. I feel like that's a situation. It's weird because you go, hey, if you're not paying attention to your job, man.
Well, to a certain degree, because, like, okay, have you been in a situation where a cashier will hand you too much change back? Where they'll give you, like, they'll accidentally hand you a 20 instead of a 10, or 2 5s instead of 1 5?
I have, but I usually also don't realize it until I'm gone because I just put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
I don't even inspect it.
I've caught it a few times and given it back because I've been like, hey, you accidentally gave me an extra 20 or whatever. If I do catch it, because I've been on the other end of that. I've counted down a drawer at the end of the night and been like, I have no idea where this $40 went. And then it comes directly out of your tips.
This exact scenario happened to me on Sunday when I was getting my hair cut. And my barber, he has a really great spot, but I don't think he does a lot of promotion there. Like, I know just because I used to live over there, so that's why I got hip to his place. But he was cutting my hair, and I'm just telling him how I want it and blah, blah, blah. And then after we're done, he's like, hey, man. He's like, I'm trying to get my Instagram popping. I was like, I know the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, hey, follow me, blah, 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 blah. And he's just like, he took a picture of me, and then he put it on his Instagram. And in the middle of him posting it, he's like, here's my hashtag or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm getting ready to grab my coat. He's like, all right, see you later. And I walked out. I didn't even pay him. And I was like, oh, I forgot to pay him. And I walked back in, and he's still playing with his phone. And I'm like, you seem... Here you go. And he's like, oh, thank you, blah, blah, blah. But
you seem like you're not paying attention to me.
I did that.
I could have got a free haircut, but I'm a loyal customer, and I want him to stay in business.
Of course.
So therefore,
See, that's what I'm talking about. Small. Would you have done that if it was Best Cuts?
No, because they probably do it. I mean, no, I wouldn't do that.
Or a big corporation haircutter store?
Good save, pal. Good save. The young Padawan has learned well.
I would never do that. Stealing's wrong. What are you talking about?
Alan, I was at Harbor Freight. I got a $140 ladder for free because she didn't notice that it didn't scan. Yeah. What about when you go to Chipotle? You ask for double meat, and they give you single.
Not saying a word.
Never
They
say a
only
word.
mark you down as single meat.
I honestly,
Hello, single
truly,
meat.
I hope that happens every time that I'm there. Every single time I hope that they ring me up for single meat, and it never happens. Always double meat.
My son got a water cup at Chipotle and filled it with lemonade. Someone says we gave him a hard time, so he insisted we take him back so he can pay for it. People do that all the time. Get a cup for
I
water
just
and fill it
assume
with
that's
Coke.
what's
They
gonna
sued,
happen.
what's his face? That gay singer, Frank Ocean. They
That gay singer, Liberace.
I had to remember, but yeah, Frank Ocean. They sued him because of that. He said he was getting water.
Sued him
Chipotle sued him.
229.
The nerve.
for what? Because did he publicly say that he did that?
I don't know, but to make a point, I think they just wanted to sue somebody high profile, like, hey, this could happen to you. Frank Ocean has the money, but don't.
They made an
listen to
example
him.
out of him.
They tried to make an example out of him. Exactly.
I picked up a birthday cake from the Giant Eagle Bakery, somebody said, and I didn't even think about going to the register. I just spaced, and I walked out. But then I felt embarrassed to walk back in.
No, I wouldn't feel embarrassed walking back in. It shows you're a
I
good
forgot
person.
to.
It's the perfect crime.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel
I'm trying to think of if I'm sure that I have, like, just walked out with something in my hand or not been paying attention or something. I don't
If
know.
you could just live on birthday cake, you'd never have to pay for food
As
again.
far as the double meat thing, though, I do that all the time. Like, if I'll hold a conversation with the person making my
You're trying to get them to screw up.
but like they're doing it, I'm just like double meat, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys have like what are the quesadillas now? He's like, oh yeah, everyone keeps coming in, blah blah.
You try to confuse them and
trying to get
divert their
engaged in
attention.
conversation, and then as soon as I see them not put the little tag, like the little red thing, I'm like, yes. And then go through. I was like, put a lot of lettuce and a lot of cheese on that.
We can't
cover
tell.
it up.
Cover up your own work. They're like, boy, this guy really likes
he's a
a lot of
master.
lettuce.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a chicken bowl.
Could have just gotten
bowl.
a salad, but no.
And the whole time it's having like that Ocean's 11 music is playing in his
Yeah.
head.
But you really think when you don't get charged for double meat, you think you got away with murder. You walk out with a big smile on your face. You're like, today's a good day.
Wow.
I saved $220 for double
Something
meat.
like that, yeah.
It's a lot.
He's out there doing a full-on heist, boy. Look at you.
I'm like, hey, John, how's your day going? Oh, it's fine. You know, wife just left me, and now I got to pay alimony.
It's fine. My wife left.
Ah, life's great. My wife just left. Yeah, my kids don't talk to me.
No big deal.
And I'm like, oh, double meat, John. Okay, yeah,
Some people,
sure.
that is a good day.
But anyways, and then now I can't get custody of my kids, and I'm like, all right, and extra lettuce, extra fajitas, double rice, and then, yeah, cilantro, too, cilantro. Gotta cover.
I don't eat enough at Chipotle. I barely eat Chipotle to know all the ins and outs there of this particular heist. Do you ask for double meat on Grindr?
Oh no, they just
Only while
you
he's
don't have
distracting
to.
him.
I only recruit people who are couples.
Recruit.
I only recruit couples. That's what I want. I want to marry a couple.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah. Can you slice some shit up on your ass quickly?
Yes.
I'm telling you.
What's up, Rick?
Hey, Mr. Alan Cox.
What's up, man?
How was your holiday, man?
It was a lot of traveling, but it was fantastic. We got very lucky with the weather. It was great. How was yours?
Man, I was just me with my little lady.
Yep.
My family, a few of my family members came over. We ate. It was like that. Hey, Bill.
Hey, what's going on?
Rick, did you cook? Rick, did you cook for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
You did.
I bet you he throws down too.
Man. All right, you laid out a spread, didn't you?
My holidays were great. I had a very enjoyable
I
time.
know. I don't have a lot of company. You know, I cooked enough, but everybody got fed.
I understand. Everybody got fed. Nobody went home hungry, is what you're saying.
Nope. Hey, Bill, what's up with you? How was your holiday, Bill?
It was great. I had a very good time. Very relaxing weekend.
All right. Man.
Hey.
You was on the road at the time, wasn't you?
No. I was home and I had dinner at my dad's house with my family. It was very nice.
I love all of you. Hey, Mr. Bill, sports guy.
Yeah.
I told you I'm going to call you sports. The Browns, we should have won that.
We should have won that. They did not deliver. And I think a lot of people had the same. They noticed the same thing, that the Steelers played with a lot more heart than the Browns did, and I can't disagree.
Yeah, because he's a good quarterback, but he got sacked, 5 times?
Yeah.
And then he got his hand hit off.
Right, yeah, he was playing a little injured, but even without him, we had two of the best running backs in the league, and they couldn't, we didn't use them properly.
Well, Bill, you know how sports go.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, we got the Bengals. You think we're going to get... Oh, we're out the playoffs, right?
Nah, I mean, there's
Bengals, not bagels.
There's a 6%. There's a 6% chance we can make the playoffs.
You think we get a wild card?
Maybe.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
I hope so. He's a good quarterback, man.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, that's all I gotta say. I'm a sticky move.
All right, thank you, Rick. There's Rick over there, number 116 on the blacklist.
That's what he said. That's what I said. That's obviously what our position is.
Mm-hmm. Frank Ocean was sued by Chipotle for an ad deal gone bad, someone says. Not because he was stealing lemonade in the water cups.
I'm running with he was stealing lemonade in the water cup.
Yeah.
What Chipotle ads do you see? Where?
Actually, that's
everywhere.
Where?
Chipotle
I don't
ads
see no commercials
in
for
print.
Chipotle.
They're on TV. They have goddamn billboards.
I've never seen a Chipotle commercial.
They're out there.
Yeah, they ran one through in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Chipotle ad.
Maybe special occasions. I ain't never seen no Chipotle.
Special occasions.
They don't need it. That's just like, why does a Chipotle add a drive-through window? Because they don't need it.
Yeah, they need a goddamn drive-through. Everybody needs advertising.
Okay.
You know the business we work in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chipotle added beef to the menu a few weeks ago, and if you ordered it through the app, it was free. And they didn't charge you for the double meat either.
Carne asada,
I
right?
don't know if I want beef, though.
They just added beef to their menu?
a different kind of beef.
different
There's
kind.
like a shredded kind.
They have
It's
the carne
different.
Not the
asada.
same.
They had like the shredded like carne asada, and now there's like sliced steak. I feel like,
Oh, I
or
see.
something like that. I'm
there's the
messing it up.
steak,
Something.
There's the steak, and then there's the shredded beef that they've had, the barbacoa.
Barbacoa
They-
is pork.
That's
No.
pork.
No,
yeah.
carnitas is pork.
Yeah,
Carne something, I don't know.
but carne asada is just like the thinly sliced steak.
They're
knows?
they're the board of directors. All right, guys, phase 2 of Chipotle. We've got a huge beef. We're going to start carrying beef.
Beef phase.
Operation Beef.
We've been doing this
will
well
commence in
without
2020.
beef. Imagine how well we're going to do.
That's
once
right.
you start serving
Guys, you know as well as I do, shareholders, that this company was built on chicken and pork. You are never going to guess what we're unveiling for 2020.
beef. And then Taco Bell's like,
Is
listen,
it lemonade for free?
it
It's
don't got to be
beef.
that good of beef.
Yeah.
You can get that 80% beef that they got.
85.15 is
Yeah.
the beef I want. Oh, boy. Al and I walked out of a store at Cedar Point with a big sucker to ask my mom to buy it for me, and she goes, "You're already out of the store. It's yours." Your mom
Teaching
gave
good
you
lessons
the
there.
finer points of getting away with something.
I had cousins. They will snatch you up because, first of all, they were black, so they didn't want to get in trouble either. But, like, you walk out of the store with something that you didn't buy, they're taking you right back in by the arm or by the neck or whatever, and they're like, tell the person at the register what you did.
I had that happen to me one time.
Oh, I had that when I was a kid.
Stole a bunch of candy bars.
I took Lifesavers, and they're just like...
The
now-
candy bins.
Yep.
Go through there.
But they
and
put 'em
start
right
eating the
there.
candy.
Oh, all the time.
And then your mom's like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Ah."
They put 'em at kid level.
I thought it was. Thought I was allowed to eat this candy. She's like, "You're not allowed to eat that candy."
Do you remember that really colorful gum? I think it had like a unicorn on it.
Yeah,
or something
Fruit
like that.
Stripe.
Fruit Stripe. Yep. I remember I cut open to one of those and just started taking slices out, like the slices of gum, and
Sticks.
Slices. Yeah.
Sticks of gum.
whatever.
Slices
Sticks
of
of
gum.
gum.
Slice
Could
of
you
gum.
slice me off
And
a
I
piece
did-
of that gum, please?
Yeah, I didn't take the gum, like the whole pack of gum. I just took a couple pieces and just walked out. Mom was like, "Did you go through my purse?" I was like, "Nope." She's like,
Where do you get that gum?
That's-
she
yeah.
was like, "I don't even want to know." She's
My
like,
kids
"Don't
were the
tell me."
worst with gum. Not that they
They
would
stick 'em
steal it.
everywhere?
They would just stick it everywhere, and then I would put like a ban on it, and it became the most sought after candy for them because like we're not allowed to have gum. Now I need more gum. But they'd always get it in their hair. They'd fall asleep while they're chewing it. They were just terrible at chewing gum. I'm like, guys, why is it so hard for you to just take your gum and put it into a trash can? And they're like, oh, spit it on the carpet. They're monsters.
Spit it
Swallow
on the
it.
carpet?
Yeah, they're monsters.
I always swallowed my gum.
Me too.
Yeah.
Spit it on the carpet.
Yeah.
For
Just
a while.
wherever they are, mouth open, gum
Listen,
out.
I remember
Wow.
one time, my oldest walking upstairs, and like she was the worst with. She's gotten so good, but she was the worst.
She's gotten so good with gum. I'm very
just
proud
being
of her.
Like from what she was to who she is now is astounding.
long way,
Because
yeah.
she was the worst. And she would just be. She'd go and get a snack out of the kitchen, not allowed to eat in your room. Walking up the stairs, ripping the wrapper off the snack, throwing it on the stairs in front of me.
Wow.
And I'm like,
I
what?
would beat
What are
him.
you doing? And she's like, I'm getting a snack. I'm like, first of all, you're allowed to eat in your room. She's like, oh, I'm not supposed to. And then I'd be like, okay, what are you doing with that, the wrapper? And she's like, because she's just in her own world. And man, she would make me so nuts.
These are the stories of why I couldn't be a parent because I don't have it in me to handle that. I might, I don't know, but like
Shirley?
yes, I would want to I would
Lay you
freak
out.
out. I'd be like, how rude are you?
These
that you
kids-
cannot
So rude.
pick
These-
your trash up.
These kids don't respect the slice, Bill.
Oh my god, that's like.
But now she's so good. Like, she's so neat and so
No,
tidy
that's
and
great.
everything. And it just took for years of me and her mother just
Constantly,
being constantly angry. And then she'll go and, like, she'll see other kids playing. And she was also a screamer. So if we were at, like, a playground, she'd just be like, "Ah! Ah!" And then she'll go to a playground now with, like, my niece and stuff. And she'll be like, man, kids are loud. I'm like, are
Yes,
you kidding me?
right.
You are the loudest.
She would just randomly scream?
Yes. Like, they'd be playing tag or something, and she would just be running around screaming the entire time.
Like SpongeBob.
I don't have that kind of patience, man. I really don't.
I feel like
to
tested me.
repeatedly tell someone
Yeah.
the same thing over and over again, I would lose
For a
it.
decade.
I would lose it.
I
For a
feel
decade.
like he's describing an extreme circumstance, though, too. I've never heard of a kid walking around just tearing the wrapper
Well,
or
no.
spitting gum on the floor.
My older sister would
It's
talk.
not that they would spit it on the floor, but it would end up on the floor.
Oh, I see.
My sister
yeah.
would talk about my nephew, who is 19 years old and lived in her house, where she would be like, she would work like back-to-back doubles and be like, hey, here's money for pizza. Just clean up after yourself or whatever. And she would get home and there'd be like empty pizza boxes and dishes in the sink. And she's like, dude, all I asked you to do was take out the trash, or all I asked you to do was
Just
do
these
these
little things,
dishes.
yeah.
And I've been gone working 12-hour shifts for 3 straight days, and you couldn't even clean a dish. That would make me insane.
That's why my ex had a lot of trouble with my kids when they were of that age where you start doing chores and learning things.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really do that many because I wasn't there to kind of back her up. She was
Yeah.
doing it by herself. And so if my kids were like, nope, she was like, what am I... okay, I got to worry or whatever, you know.
How do you even see it?
It also,
going through my head?
because it teaches you an inordinate amount of patience.
Yeah.
It really does. If you're somebody who's not, I consider myself to be a very patient person.
Oh, do you, Alan?
How patient are you?
And I find myself being a little bit more impatient as I get older, but that's, whatever, you get a little crotchety. But that's where having a 3-year-old, ironically, comes in, because you go, okay,
we're this a different way.
I was reading a thing, they said a parenting hack that most people don't think about is treat your kids like they're not your kids. If you treat your kids like you're the babysitter, not to treat them poorly, but you almost compartmentalize how you deal with them. You're like, all right, you're screaming. We're just going to sit here and wait for this, rather than like, honey, oh, how about if we let's, because there's a lot of people negotiate with their kids a lot, which makes sense.
My mom used to negotiate too. Do you want the belt or do you want the switch?
Yeah, right. But there are some people who are like, I have no problem bribing my children to get them to do things. No problem at all.
There's situational times where I will do that.
Right.
Like I would do
if you just do this, I will give you this.
I'm just trying to get this here.
This
right
done
now.
right now.
Yeah.
Let's do
We're
this.
not doing this as a teaching moment.
Let's come up with an agreement.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to handle it. Like just blatant disobedience, I would have a serious problem with. And
But
I was a
but-
bad kid.
but
I
it's-
mean, I would do that kind of stuff to my parents.
But it's
I know
also
that,
a matter of these are creatures whose brains are literally not formed yet.
Right.
So you're like, you can't, because again, I'm one of these people that is like, I try to apply logic, and it's like, it just doesn't work. So you got to learn that whole thing, which is helpful. Those are the things that help you deal with adults better.
Right.
They really is, because you're like, well, there are a lot of adults who act that way too.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you can apply that logic to them, the people whose brains are formed, and might glean something from what you're saying.
When they did it outside, they like I think the time my daughter littered outside, and I explained to her how that was against the law, and she was terrified of police. And I may have exaggerated about the penalties of the situation.
You go to jail.
She changed her tune a little bit that way. But also, I was just like, do you like to see garbage everywhere? And she's like, no, it's ugly. I'm
Like,
so
here come the cops.
So why are you contributing to that? And she's like, I just don't think about it. I just don't. And I'm like, well, because you're only worried about your convenience. You're not thinking of other things going on in the world. And she's just like, yeah, kind of. Like, she was just really focused on herself.
Yeah.
I want
anything else.
I want a kid just so I can put them in like beyond scared straight, like one of those scenarios where they just go to the jail for a day and get scared.
What if you had a good kid?
Nah,
That makes it even
ain't no way.
funnier.
Ain't no way I'm gonna have a good kid.
You ain't got a point.
There's no way. Like my because I know what type of kid I was. I'm going to get my incoming karma. That's why I'm not like, if I have a kid, fine, I have a kid, but I'm not dwelling on it. Like, I'm not anticipating it. I'm not waiting for it.
People are telling me about the Chipotles with drive-thrus, Poundcake.
Oh, I didn't know they existed.
Al and I work for a plumbing company, and we just finished one out in Paynesville. That's the first drive-thru. Somebody else told me the one in Brooklyn has a drive-thru.
Oh, really?
Brooklyn, of all the places to need a car.
Operation Beef is at the Agora, so don't sleep on that. Uniontown is going to have a drive-thru at Chipotle.
I don't even want to do it because think of how long those lines will be, and the moms come in. All
And
right,
you know
I
what?
have
it
a
might,
list.
It might only be for pickup or something.
It's also like,
yeah.
Okay, that
there's
makes sense.
drive-thrus that, like, if you go through a Starbucks drive-thru, the line looks long, but they're just
quick.
farting
But
people through. They're
Starbucks
just
is also
bam,
coffee.
bam.
Starbucks is coffee, and you can make that fairly quickly.
But they have no, not if you go. I need a half cap.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. We went through
But they're still
Starbucks.
slamming through 'em.
We went through Starbucks on Thanksgiving morning because it was across the street from our hotel, and so I said I'll go on a Starbucks run for everybody because my son and my daughter and my wife, they're all drinking it, right? And so I go, I'll go over there. Now they put a sign halfway down the line that said, sorry, cards down, cash only.
Shut up.
I didn't have any cash on me. So I'm like, bro, you got to put the sign at the beginning of the lines.
Right.
Anyway, my wife had the app or something, so we did that whole thing. But I'm telling you what, I'm taking orders from the car and repeating them into the box. It ain't as easy as give me 4 coffees. I'm like, okay, I need a what? To my daughter. A what? Okay, a venti toasted almond thing with an extra shot of, I'm like, holy Christ.
People are just...
My kids, again, like they're all older now, and they'll get coffee from Starbucks, and their orders are ridiculous. And I'm like, How dare you?
Dude, mine for a long time was like
dare
that
you.
triple grande soy caramel latte with no foam.
Yeah,
That's what I would
like,
get for a long
you
But
time.
at least
know
you
your
can
order.
rattle it
Yeah,
off.
right,
Like they're
right,
still
right.
like they're like, I want this thing. I don't really know what it's called, and they're getting the name a little bit
Yeah.
wrong, and they want it very specifically. I'm like, man, you get your own coffee from now on.
Now mine is
That's what I get for trying to be nice.
Yeah.
black coffee, 2 pumps of caramel. That's what that's
Like,
changed
I'd be
to.
black.
Alan, I used to hook up with a guy who was consistently chewing gum. One morning after we were together, I found it stuck to my ass.
Dude, I
That's a
went on
good
a
time.
date about a year ago. I went on a date with a guy who chewed gum throughout the entire thing, and I didn't realize it until we were on, like, we had dinner and then went to a couple bars after. We were on, like, our second bar, and he was drinking. He took a drink, and then I saw him chewing gum. I'm like, are you chewing gum while you're drinking alcohol?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I've had this gum in all night. He's like, I had it through dinner. I was like, you've just had gum in your mouth the
While you're
entire night.
eating dinner.
While he was eating
That's
dinner,
very
and he said
strange.
that he had gum always. He constantly had gum in his mouth. I
Was he like trying to
"What?"
quit smoking or
I
something?
have
or-
no idea. But
I
didn't
used to
even-
be a guy. I still chew gum, but I used to be a guy
While
always
you're
chewing.
drinking?
He probably thinks
Yeah.
he's
Drinking alcohol. He was drinking like a
He
nice
probably-
whiskey.
Like a peppermint gum when
And
you're
then he
drinking
had
booze.
gum in his
That's
mouth.
Good,
I was like,
yeah.
what
He probably thinks he has bad breath or something. He probably didn't want to do it on the first
While you're
date.
drinking whiskey?
He's still refreshed.
I mean, come on.
Still refreshing. All right, I
Isn't
got
that
a break.
Is that a country song? Gum mouth whiskey. Dude.
Yeah, Cram Flagwater. Look him up.
Yeah. You want to get the last word in? Send me a text 35192.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.